What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you my first ever sculpted big fig. And you guys might be wondering, if you guys are big time people on my channel, you guys probably know that this is not my first ever sculpted big fig, which you would be right. It is not my first ever sculpted big fig. No. That was actually another big fig, which I have right here, and his name is the Super Scroll. And of course, this was a figure that I made a long time ago because of an idea, and then I made it, and then I didn't really like it, and then I decided to make it again and update it for LEGO Marvel Collections, which it turned out infinitely better than the original, and I'm super happy because I worked really hard and wasted my Cull Obsidian. So yeah, I made this, and it's alright to my standards these days. I probably could maybe sculpt the shoulders up a bit bigger, and the head is kind of a bit like more like the leader, and it kind of doesn't look really good, but of course we're changing that today. Now, over the weekend I have worked on some characters, and I'm extremely happy on how some of them turned out. 3 characters to be exact, and all 3 of them turned out really good. Now, one of them I've worked on for a while now, and I finally finished painting him, which I'm very happy because, of course, the original figure was kind of alright, and of course now he's infinitely better. I'm so excited to show you guys, and one of my figures actually beats the Joker as one of my personal favorite characters that I've ever made. I'm literally staring at him right now, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like honestly like the best thing I've ever made. So of course you will be seeing that figure soon. The other figure, you'll be seeing him in a long, you won't be seeing him for a long time. Of course, I will come out with a video for him. But for now, I'm going to be coming out with a video that, of course, I've been working on. And I worked on him yesterday and today. I finally finished painting him today. And honestly, he is so good. I'm so excited to show you guys. So, of course, a bit of story time right now. Werewolf by Night came out. You guys probably already know that is Man-Thing, and I have been working on Man-Thing since Werewolf by Night, but you guys might be wondering, Painted, didn't you do a purist brick build? Which I did, and here he is. And if you guys are looking at him, you do know that he is completely different from the last time I showed you guys. And of course, he has changed a little bit. The feet, the arms, legs, I think the legs are the same. The arms and the head and the back and the butt are completely different, but other than that, it hasn't changed. Now, I'm going to go through a brief overview because this video is going to be probably a little bit long. So the feet, I updated. I added some leaves on the side because I didn't like the blocky feet. The arms as well, I added some of the Green Goblin glider pieces, which I think turned out really cool. And then, of course, the arms, I made them pure tan. Also some green pieces as well to kind of like make it look good. And the head as well, I moved it up a little bit, and of course it is a sanded piece on the back because of course it doesn't connect to any studs, which of course it turned out alright. And of course the back turned out really cool as well, and of course the back just is alright. Now, if you're looking at this, you're probably being like, oh my god, that is honestly a really good Man-Thing. Why did I change him? And it's because it just looks too Lego. I'm sorry, it looks too Lego. It's really hard to deal with a Man-Thing that looks too Lego. You guys might be wondering, well, it is Lego, why would you change it? And sometimes it's alright to be Lego, but other times it doesn't really look good. Like Khonshu right here, Khonshu that I made for Moon Knight. I think he turned out pretty good. He looks like a Lego, but he looks like a human. The head looks like him, and everything just looks like him. He looks good. The Super Skull, stuff like that. Kingpin, they're brick built, but they look like a Lego, but not too blocky. And there were just some things that stood out to me. So from certain angles, I didn't like how this looked. I'm sorry. It's so hard to look at him from certain angles. It kind of ticked me off a little bit. Like right now, he doesn't look good. All right, looking at him straight on, he doesn't look good. At a side, he looks better, but still, he looks really strange. I don't know why. He looks too blocky, and the way I built him flat down, and I thought that that was all right at the time. And looking at him, he looks all right, okay? He doesn't look horrible, but he looks just too Lego, and the arms, everything is good. It's just the head. The head irked me so much. Every time I built this, I literally spent an hour trying to come up with a new solution for this head because I don't like how it looks. It looks like he has a big brain because when you're looking at it straight on, sure, the head by itself looks good. All right, that's Man Thing. All right, that's what he looks like. And the back was just, and then putting this down too, I tried to put slopes on the side, but it just, it didn't look good. And I moved the head up. It didn't look good. And I didn't like it. And it made me even more mad because this guy came out with honestly one of, if not the coolest brick built Man Things, because the neck goes down and it looks like he has an arched big back. And it was all right. Okay. So I looked at it, I was like, ugh, I hate it. And then I looked on YouTube, and sure enough, RBM Universe comes in, and I'm like, oh my god, that is honestly the best idea ever. And I went for it, and that's what I did. And if you guys know that name on my channel, you probably remember him from Zerg. So yes, Zerg, once again, I took inspiration from him for Zerg, and he turned out good. As you guys can see, the arms and the legs and everything turned out good. Because of course it was based on his idea. And I think that a lot of his customs are good. They're really good, don't get me wrong. But some of them, I feel like if he put a little bit more time into it, I feel like it could honestly be perfect. Like this is perfect, alright? There's nothing that you can change on here. But his Man Thing, when I show you guys mine and his, let me know in the comments below. Do you like his or mine? Of course, it's the same design. It's just completely kind of different. So, of course, let's talk about my new Man Thing. And, of course, after this, if I don't update some of the colors or stuff like that, this is honestly like one of my favorite things I've ever. All right, so he's right here, and he is honestly like really good. So, without further ado, 3, 2, 1. Here is my brand new Man Thing. You guys might be wondering, oh my god, how did you make this? This honestly looks really cool unless you don't like it. If you don't like it, okay, I understand, all right? This thing doesn't look that good. If some people don't like it, if you don't like it, okay, sure, whatever. All right, be you. You be you. But, of course, how did I make this? So I made this out of a big fig, obviously, okay? There's big figs. And I didn't modify too much on this big fig. I only modified what he looked like. So, of course, if you want to know the base for this, this is the Lego Batman movie Bane. And it's hilarious because I've had this figure in my collection forever, and it's just been a random big fig body I've been throwing around. And, of course, I've used some of his parts for some characters. One of the characters that I used the arms for is for the Blob. So he was kind of just a body just rolling around. And I looked at his video, I'm like, oh my god, that is honestly the best idea ever. And I took it to the next level. I decided to sculpt this. So, of course, I do have some photos. I don't have that many, but I do have some photos of what he originally looked like. So here he is right here. This is when I was first starting to sculpt him, and it was a really hard process to do. He didn't really explain how he sculpted his figure, so I completely had to wing it and go off of his comic books and what I wanted to do for this figure, which I think I executed it all right. I think his is okay now. Yeah, looking at his at the time, I thought it was really good. Like, I liked it. But a lot of things it kind of stood out to me is that it was too bare. There wasn't enough. Now, when you're dealing with Sculpty and you're not dealing with Lego's guidelines. So Lego's guidelines usually is you don't sculpt on the body, the arms, or legs. The legs and stuff don't really come out. It's usually an armor or a hairpiece or something. On a big figs, if you know big figs usually have skin tight arms, and they're just literally just arms. When you're sculpting, however, and you're a Lego customizer who doesn't really care about producing a million of these and putting them in Lego sets, you can kind of go overboard and sculpt the hell out of it and turn it into a work of art, which I think he should have done. I feel like he should have added more sculpted parts on the body, because if you guys see his is very, very skin tight, all right? His is basically just a couple painted arms, a back, and that's it. It's basically just smooth, and I didn't want that because Man-Thing in the comic books is hairy. I didn't know how much he was hairy until I was making this figure, and he is extremely hairy, and he is heavy, all right? This figure is heavy. Like, I don't want to drop it because, of course, he's sculpted, and there are some pieces that are still drying. Not drying, but, like, these sculpted parts back here, like, these things are still kind of drying, which, of course, I don't want to touch them that much, even though I am, but, of course, how did I make this figure? So, if you guys know Bane, I didn't sand anything on this figure. I completely just sculpted over it. So the fur part, of course, keeping my foot over here, I had to sculpt over the fur part. And I had to basically just put a layer of Sculpty underneath it because, of course, I tried to flatten the back off. Try to flatten it. Because, of course, his back is very protruding and very big. And I tried to slope it off, but, of course, there was a bit of gap right there. So I decided to put Sculpty all around it, all the gaps and everything, and then basically go over it later with basically tentacles and stuff and try to go with vines and all the stuff that you see on this. Now, I know he looks really messy, and I know he kind of does, but I think it looks really good. I think I did the right amount of messy. If I put lines all over this, I think it would look pretty bad. But I think it turned out pretty good. I did take some inspiration off Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Of course, these pieces were actually on his back. This piece especially was on it, and this one as well. I kind of laid this one down. I thought of it later. I think it looks actually better laying down. But the face was also really hard because he didn't show how his face was made. So I was kind of just winging it because he really didn't show how it was because I think he liked his lizard more. But I think his Man-Thing could have been way better. And he did say that he would update his, so maybe he sees this video, and hopefully he does, because I think mine is pretty good, and he should take maybe some more sculpting to the figure, because if he did like sculpt the lines on the arms and stuff like that, I think it would be like really cool. So what I did, his is a tan, and Man-Thing in the comic books and in the Lego Marvel Superheroes is tan. I decided to go for a green though, based on the Werewolf by Night, and I think that was a better choice. I think it looks more comic booky and looks better. So yeah, after I sculpted basically all over this figure, I went on the chest because the chest was flat because he did have the six-pack. Then I put some little tendrils down here. Of course, his tendrils go off his thing, which I think the eyes, I think I nailed the eyes. I think the eyes are pretty good. The lighter green, I think the darker green doesn't really look that good. I might change it in the future, but for now it does look pretty good. Then of course the legs of course were sculpted as well on the side, and trying to go on the feet. Of course it was hard to get over the black, so I kind of just left it a dirty green on the bottom, and I used 4 different colors of green to make this, and the arms are kind of the olive green Hulk arms, and I just kind of put a green over it, kind of to weather it down a little bit. Then I came over the whole thing later and weathered it light green, kind of to give it the same green I used for the face. And I think it turned out really good. Then the back as well, just kind of did that. And then I put some brown streaks on his arms to make kind of like the branches and stuff like that, and kind of on his hands as well. And then of course I put the sculpted Hulk pieces back here. The studs on the back I didn't sand off, I just sculpted over it. And of course the back turned out really cool as well. And of course there's a paint here, can we get that off? Thank you. And the face of course turned out alright, and I just painted some green things as well. And the trunk was completely on accident where it's skinny and fat. I think I did a really good job at capturing that, and I think he's alright. I think he's pretty good. In the future I might change some greens and stuff like that, because I think I might go back to this figure every once in a while kind of to update it. But of course as a base, like just the figure, it's pretty good. And if you guys have Sculpty and you guys are very precise of where you put it, kind of follow my directions, I think you guys could have a pretty good one, and you're good at painting. I think you could have a really cool design, because you don't have to be perfect on this figure, all right? There are some figures out there, they have to be exact, which doing stuff twice, I don't like doing, all right? Sculpting, but Man-Thing was fun, all right? So it basically just lines and just sculpted lines. I know it does look like a lot when you're looking at it, just on it, but in person he looks really cool, and next to Werewolf by Night he does look really cool next to him. I know he is a bit smaller than my brick built Man-Thing. I know he's bigger, but of course, would you rather have a brick built or a Big Fig. Just ask Lego Groot that, because of course he learned the hard way that brick builds are they are not good for everybody. They're good for Hulkbusters, but not for Groots. And hopefully, if Lego does make a Man-Thing, they better nail his back, because if they don't, the whole figure is screwed. Which this is why I love this figure. The back is so big, and it just and the head right here, the head actually looks like a head, doesn't look all round and brick shaped like this. Speaking of, next to my Man-Thing, there you go. There are my two Man-Things. Honestly, this one I personally love the most. He is just, I'm so proud of him. Of course, I worked on him on and off yesterday, and today, of course, I got up and painted him and everything that you see here. I painted today, which was cool, and I'm so happy that I finished him. And I can't wait for Lego to start making some of these big figures and stuff so I can actually compare them with Lego, because I wonder what they will do with Man-Thing. Because hopefully they don't do a brick build, because this turned out good, all right? I'm happy how it turned out. If you like it, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, there is one of my first ever, I'm so excited for the next figure that you guys are going to see on my channel that is made by me. Of course, you will be seeing him pretty soon. So yeah, that is it for Man-Thing. And tell me which one you like more. Anyway, see you guys later.